Con todo derecho, un lugar sin rumores ni fantasmas. Con todo derecho, un lugar sin rumores ni fantasmas.
As everyone knows, the complaints are on CTD and War. Complaints 618-2025 and 694-2025 filed in court number 11 and court 10. That complaints is there and it is named and shown as a document, an electronic prescription from my PAMI that they used when my dad was alive with the name Moreno, Luis Osvaldo. It are these inventions of the site and CIA in the PAMI. Mr. Salazar Cirillo Pastor. He is supposed to be a true identity, or maybe it's that of a dead person. From May 3rd, 2025, the man is 81 years old. It's not my matters because this is going to be a criminal investigation. There will be one of my lawyers there, and the prosecutor or a judge will be investigating. The more irregular this is, better. Of course, the more irregular this is, the better. If it's a fabrication, all the better if the guy is dead. I congratulated them. Dad brought his, as the complaint says, my dad brought it and used it to bother with me. It just so happened that one day, I went to the PAMI in Grandberg pharmacy in Town and they extorted me in the street, and when I came back here, my dad was bothering me with TN channel, with a wrong electronic prescription from my dad because my dad brought it like that. Here are the Quiroga causing trouble. There's an adult and a child bothering me. And there's a barking harass me. My dad brought it. He told me that they had given it to him by mistake, but he still let me know that it was meant for me. And I'm telling my dad, kid, you don't know at the least. When it's a document for me, it'll say Gustavo Galarza, no Moreno Luis Osvaldo. Obviously, it makes sense. Why do they resort to all sorts of frauds and all sorts of things that don't correspond to what they're referring to? That's why they does this, because it's a fraud. Now they've done it to me again. I was wrong in the other video. I blamed the lady, her secretary. But the one who gave me the papers is the Dr. Adriana Degano. The Dr. Adriana Degano handed me the wrong papers. Yes, it's irregular, you understand. As we've already mentioned, the investigation is worse for Dr. Adriana Degano. Her secretary is the accomplice. Dr. Degano gave me the man's lab results, she gave me his treatment card, and she gave me the next appointment was for me, but everything else was wrong. This card, his treatment card, and the next electronic prescription for the next lab appointment were all wrong, but I didn't realize it because I saw the appointment and I put it in my portfolio and left. I never realized they wanted to take an advantage with a wrong telephone call from my mother. I didn't pay attention because what my mom was saying didn't make sense, so I didn't get. When I went to Comodoro PY court to the complaint on February 19, 2025, at beginning of the month, on the 10th, they hit the ceiling. It was on the 10th. That's how my courts spend all day, and they bother me all day. On February 10th I had an appointment with the chemotherapy checkup. Well, since my treatment is chronic, so I have to go for checkups regularly. How can't the side take me out here? The side of Milei, how can't they take me out here? They are planning to bother me everywhere. When the satellite caused the boil on my buttock, I couldn't sit down. As everyone knows, I was preparing the complaint about the satellite and I had to go to chemotherapy checkup. This is why they planned to have me sit with pain and swelling in my left buttock. So, the pain in the buttocks, and everyone was bothering me. So, they look for a mathematical way to bother me, to disturb me. Method is psychic and cognitive, and even though it is psychic and cognitive, the method is a fraud. Because they provide everything they put in. Here is Salazar Cirillo Pastor, who provides the information. The barking is available 24 hours a day. You get up and he barks at you all day and extorts it from you. In the afternoon, all day and extorts it. At night extorting it all day, resting and during the day, the last thing of the day, during entertainment, and they continues to extort me all day. This before sleeping. Also all day they put barking on. The barking is everywhere. The week of November when the sentence of the 4th Chamber of the Criminal Court of Cassation was known about the public of Santa Cruz Province, CFK spoke from Moreno. Here they combined a procedure in the PAMI Grandberg town with harassment actions of the Buenos Aires police, citizen control and the neighbors, in addition to a message that my father brought an electronic prescription from PAMI in the name of Moreno Osvaldo Luis, beneficiary number 50, Dr. Rosales Vergara Isaac Miguel authorized the study. In the elections, the PRO used a candidate from Malvinas, Argentina's city who appeared in the photo with the security minister Patricia Bullrich. Moreno, his key is the black dog. I forgot to mention that the candidate was Lucas Aparicio, is the black dog of the barking. Rosales for Rosa Ramos, Vergara for the penis, Isaac for Isabel my brother's wife, and Miguel for San Miguel. Y from Yolanda 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and it is realized out loud. That satellite touches the penis and the testicles of Gustavo Galarza. Occasionally since August 2010 they touch the head, and because of some message that is rejected out loud because it goes out into the world with data from BMI that can be adulterated. Most of them are intended to attract attention and annoy a third person, are meant to cause pain. On October 2022, the satellite touches my penis, testicles and anus, which motivated the videos. B. Bis, the other Argentine member, the CIA. Video 1, November 5, 2022. Time. In video Y16, Bis, Gustavo Galarza assures that the satellites is the only one that touches my anus. It's the CIA, the satellite between 10 minutes, 24 seconds and 11 minutes 04 seconds of Y16. Bis, the quote is added there. DP, President Javier Milei said, "We leave their asses like a mandrill." Ernesto Tenenbaum has told in this article, published in Infobuy, Milei versus mandrills on February 9, 2025. He writes that Milei USU Sally calls them mandrills. The first time he used the term was in August. To walk like a mandrill, send him a jar of Vaseline, said, Bis, Y16. It breaks down into man, drill, that uses intelligence around my house to disturb me and upset my nerves. In other words, A is the whistleblower and bark. It's because of the barking. Trump says drill, baby, drill for his energy policy. He also mentions what the United States wants in the video. Y7, Bis, Gustavo forgets to clarify. Javier Milei's chainsaw belongs to my cousin Ariel Torres, who used one to cut firewood, in addition to Bravo and his light blue car, Sierra Ford, and that the tree also belongs to the complainant. Tenenbaum says that those quotes from the president are mocking the mandrills. Assess that the president is an actor in a campaign of moral, psychological and physical harassment against Gustavo because as they did previously with CFK at the head of the intelligence agency AFI, quoting the side CIA, they known that on February 14th Gustavo had to go to the trauma hospital and the satellite caused me an injury to the left gluteus. Argentina's National Day, the independence of Peronism, Cristina and the CIA, July 13th, 2023. The press and harassment campaign is completed with pink number 9 jersey that Messi sent to his sister and the president. It's to force me to switch to the pink team in the trap set by the Argentine executive branch and the CIA. False idea that these medical orders from PAMI are codes of the Argentine government to force Gustavo Galarza to be hospitalized. Cause they cannot proceed with San Miguel Clinic where Gustavo has outpatient treatment. They repeat the idea of trauma, that I am traumatized. Traumatized by what they do. Moreno, Luis Osvaldo, Luis and a neighbor, Christian's friend and Osvaldo was a former couple of my mom. Code Z10 says routine general health control of defined subpopulations, says give us attention. Get entered. What is routine? It is for the defined subpopulations. These are the subpopulations that below, the dog and the children. And the other Salazar Cirillo Pastor. Pastor is the dog. Code 7921. 921 is Annabella and Europa. Personal history of long-term use of present of anticoagulants. They are saying it is because of the present. So false, because it is unfair because there are criminal cases. With this want to lock Gustavo up and kill him in the laboratory, says Maria Cristina Fries, Maria my aunt and Cristina for Cristina Kirchner, on Jose Leon Suarez Street where my aunt Maria Borden lived. Borden, the Borda, a former psychiatric hospital, Protocol 2011, San Jose 1111, where Cristina Kirchner is arrested, Salazar the blonde, Cirillo the black man, and Pastor the shepherd dog are. It gives age, 81 years old, the 8 comes before the 1 and the A. It's the requirement of the A, EE, the CIA, and now they planned it again. They introduced a new variable, torturing my back. So, I had to endure 2 days in a row. I had to endure the pain on my back for 2 days straight. With extreme pain on my back. For a long period of time. I mean, every time I stood up to work, the satellite tortured my back. Do you know why this data like torturing my back? Because all the data is false. When I'm sitting. When I'm standing still, it's even more fake. So, when I'm standing still, it's even more fake. The little guy, the capricious satellite, is even more fake. He wants to maintain pressure on the idea of what computer is saying, what the satellite wants. So, the satellite tortured my back causing pain, so I spent 2 days with the pain of him torturing my back. When I worked, when I left work, when I cooked, when I ate, and when I watched TV for 2 days straight. And that's an energy expenditure. And did they plan it? And why did they plan it? Pedovalo. Do you remember when I went to the work risk insurance SRT? What did they do at the SRT? The same. What did they do? The same, but I was tired and I didn't have breakfast. And there it was, I got up early, but I was tired and didn't have breakfast. So, when I was rested and had breakfast, everything they did didn't affect me. Why? Because the CIA bet, as Gustavo says, they always bet on committing fraud with Freud. They use Freud, but fraudulently. Freud, what does he say? The theory of repression. They repeat and try to instill because there is no brainwashing by cognition, ideas and various abstractions with different emotional charge. Through third-party accomplices, they repeat these cognition as codes to keep those abstractions and cognitions continually latent as my own and internal when they are external and repeated in fact by the satellite. Therefore, mistreatment and mockery seek to overwhelm me's own introspection in the home and public life. They seek to make the mind lose its energy so that the very codifications of their own mockery, mistreatment, and harassment for 15 years emerge, and that they do it daily, chronically, without taking responsibility. Fraud. Because they're all delinquents. It's like that. It's like sending this official thing as if it were true, a danger to me. That's a lie, because my father already died. It's a lie. I'm not going to analyze the Civil and Trade Code. That's a lie. They associated it with a DW note that talked about, of the houses they built in Germany in the municipality, all of that, everything. In order words, to associate, as Gustavo CTD in War says, that they used Chief of Staff Nicholas Posse. My dad extorted me to cover household expenses. They used a document letter for bank debts addressed to my dead dad. Same false idea, false. They use a false idea like that. Who comes up with the ideas? The side and CIA. Then they keep the ideas going all day, all day. The teasing, the extortion wanting to create emotions, all day long. When one is tired or stressed like they tired me out 2 days in a row, through torture and flogging. I didn't realize that's what it was for. So, since they had already done it with the gluteus, why do they bother me all day so that I lose concentration? You understand? Why are they bothering me? Why do they use permanent codes and associations on TV or in the street? They use permanent codes, colors, associations in different shapes, directions and movements, to tire the mind that one loses time and space and also one loses concentration. In fashion you can look good. There's a code here, another here, another here, another here, another here, another here, so that you lose concentration and you're not like this, centered and balanced. All the people in their private lives or in their daily activities are not bothering the street. They bother me in the street, with what they say, with what they talk about, with the extortion, with the threats, with the fears and with the codes, so that I lose concentration. And why is he torturing me? And it drains my energy, so I lose my concentration. It is a torture technique. See, they want you to lose track of time, of where you are, in order to get my attention. How will you earn my favor, Milei? With this you will win my will. This is my will that I am going to take you to court. With this Salazar, Cirillo Pastor, my intention is that it will go to criminal investigation, it will go to trial. That is my will and my focus. Well, but everyone planned it. Washington planned that I was going to go to chemotherapy control, just like the Dr. Adriana Degano, the other time, the one about the buttocks. They planned it, now they're back at it. Their plan to torture me for 2 days straight, to lower my concentration and energy, and how did I not realize I didn't have breakfast? So, I hadn't had breakfast and was asleep and tired. So any stupid thing they do affects you, you know. Any little thing affects you. That was the technique they used to cheat because they set everything up themselves. They provide everything, not mine. I have had the same harassment and extortion for 15 years, any psychologist knows it. I studied psychology and any psychologist knows that. Who is the head of human resources in Argentina? The psychologist Pedovalo who has ties there with all celebrities, her ex-husband and etc., etc. Okay, do you understand? It's all a plan. All Pedovalo is doing is corroborating the CTD and war videos that says that Milei administers the impunity plan for Christina Kirchner and 5 more partners. Go and see that Gustavo told that they left Christina Kirchner with the AFI side until the middle of the year until her trial started, the failed assassination attempt against Christina Kirchner. And as they were looking for a promotional spot for her up there, they gave Minister Pedovalo as a replacement. And Pedovalo is doing the same thing. When Christina was in Moreno Town, she used Christina Kirchner from Moreno Town to mess with me about the PAMI, you understand. So, the recurring issue is already on top of the complaint 2880-2022, extort with a prescription from San Miguel Clinic, with Dr. Vidal, as Vidal Gustavo when as Christina Kirchner, a failed prescription that was worth 70% of my income to live on. When Gustavo filed the complaint, he wrote 30 in the complaint, but that meant I had to pay for that medicine and that I would keep 30% of my monthly income. I use it alone to survive. Dear Quiroga family, they mess around with a dog barking and say, not the minors. The minors you put here will go to trial when there's a trial against the satellite. The defamation of the Gustavo Galarza's data is liked by the satellite because it's always the same technique. Since it's all the same technique, it means it's all fraud. The satellite uses the ideas of the lie detector. Lie detector measures the nervous alteration of a human being through heart rate and blood pressure and respiratory rate that's in the pen. It receives questions and has to answer multiple choice. The change is that the satellite puts ideas or information or photos or videos and bothers them because of the same idea to measure nervous alteration. And you, who are in the lie detector, you alter it during the questions, that will be reflected in the lie detector, that is, the nervous alteration. Well, the satellite is that, it alters on purpose to measure the fraud and extort the very fraud that it generates all the time. Gustavo Galarza is subject to the rule of law and does not owe you anything. Cut with the crime. Pedovalo, cut the crime. As we explained at the SRT. They tried to affect my talk with the doctor, so the doctor left the door open. I told her to close it. She did it so that I can hear those who make noises and comments in the hallway. We collect everything and then it's all going to be against you. Here we are totally clear and sincere. You are committing a crime and this isn't a moral problem. Everything you do is false. The mandrill is the satellite. Gustavo Galarza is not touched. The mandrel is the satellite and all the touches. The satellite abuses my body to the amount that it will be 24 hours capriciously, so it will do his design, his whim all day, but it's all false.